Oh my god, no. No! No! Slacklining is a skillful combination of balancing elements smashed up against freak elite performers who traverse jaw-dropping high lines or land inconceivably accurate flips against all odds. And then there's me, a half-competent fitness enthusiast who's about to attempt balancing for an hour straight on this line. Will my legs function like day-old Jell-O afterwards? Will I fall and fall and fall until ultimate failure? Who knows, but I am dead serious. Which is why I've paired with this video a bunch of educational information on what your balance is, how to assess it, and how to train it as well. Alright, and now the first thing we have to do is bust out that slackline for the first time this season. Now, it gets pretty cold and snowy over the winters here, so I always make sure to take down and store the slackline in the garage during those seasons just to try and make it last a little bit longer. Now, I attach one of the ends to this dead large tree stump type thing, so I actually don't use a tree wrap, but here is where you would loop in a towel to protect a live tree. Now, you're always just going to want to check for tears or any rust on your actual ratchet straps, but before we get to actual slacklining, there is one more thing that we have to do. And that's look around for these little bastards right here. These things will absolutely destroy your feet if you fall off of the slackline. So I always say, hey, take maybe like a 10-15 foot radius around the slackline. Just clean it up and make sure that you're not going to fall on anything. Now that that's done, there's nothing else to do but attempt the slackline endurance challenge. All right, and so I guess it's time to start. Let's hope that we don't fall too many times out here today. And aside from one non-featured fall that I had around 5 minutes right off the bat, this initial chunk of the challenge was going smoothly. So why is it so difficult to balance on this slackline? Now that I've been balancing on here for a little bit over 10 minutes, let's get into starting to talk about what your balance really is. Your ability to balance is basically broken down into 3 different factors, being your vision, your vestibular system, and your somatosensory feedback. Let's go ahead and do a little experiment together about how your vision affects your balance. Try balancing on a single leg while staring straight forward at a non-moving object. Time to see how long you can actually do it. Now let's go ahead and try staring at a moving object while doing the same exact test. For here, I'm just tying a tennis ball to a tree branch, which I can then hit around and track with my eyes while I'm balancing. For most untrained individuals, this will immediately make your time substantially worse, because now your body's not moving, but your eyes are tracking a moving object, and it's conflicting inputs. Now let's go ahead and increase this progression once more by completely removing vision from the equation, and you'll likely find that your balance becomes even worse by not being able to see anything at all. Alright, and so balancing with your arms wide out to the side like this can make balancing way easier because you're extending your moment levers. When you bring in your arms closer, it is significantly harder to stay balancing. Alright, but what if we found a way to make it even harder? Now combining the knowledge that we already had about our vision and by bringing in the arms closer, what if we can make balancing on the slackline even more challenging? I immediately regret this bit. Oh, this was stupid. This was very stupid. Yeah, so regardless how ridiculous this looks, Balancing while trying to eat a bowl of cereal was actually incredibly challenging, especially anytime I had to look down to try and get a piece. Imagine if I didn't hit record. I'm like 90% sure that I did. Oh, but I did hit record. And aside for one or two kind of scary close calls, I managed to finish the entire bowl of cereal. Let's talk about that second factor of your balance, your vestibular system. Now, looking closer at a diagram of the inner ear, we'll pay special attention to the top of the cochlea, those little frilly tubes there. These are filled with water, and as you move and displace your head, that water moves around and senses your balance. Therefore, this is why rapidly spinning motions tend to leave you feeling dizzy and disoriented. That water is splashing all about through those tubes, and your body is having a hard time of figuring out where you are in space, leaving you sometimes nauseous. A basic way to go about testing this can be rapidly turning your head side to side and then trying to balance, whereas a more advanced progression would be actually fully spinning and then completing the same exact balance test to see for yourself. Slacklining is a primarily skill-based activity, and so with that in mind, typically training to be better at slackline is reflective with high frequency, high volume amounts of training, because you're not going to, in a large sense, be physically exhausted from slacklining the same way that you might be from a few max effort squats or bench presses. Knowing this, things like daily volume accumulation training work really well with slacklining, where you might try and balance for a set amount of time multiple times throughout a given day. But not everyone has a slackline, and it's kind of cool sometimes to be annoyingly good at things the first time that you try and do it, which is why it's really important to understand these factors that lead into what your balance actually is, so that you can effectively assess, train, and then just be better at people with balancing. But little did I know that things were about to go terribly wrong. Oh my god, no. No! No! Oh!
I got it. Are you okay? It's rolling.
I'm a little upset. Well, that was, what was that, like 32 minutes? Oh my god. Well, that is simply devastating right now. Guess it's time to get back on the line. And after only a few moments of extreme sadness, I was right back on the line, starting to work my way back up to that 1 hour continuous balance. While I catch back up with where we were before the major fall, let's take a quick look at the third and final factor of your balance. The third and perhaps most applicable factor that contributes to your balance in relation to slackline is somatosensory feedback. This is basically the feedback that you get from sensory information in your feet. And so whether you're on a flat surface or an uneven surface, or even utilizing further balance tools such as balance pads, all of these signals are transmitted through the bottoms of your feet and are giving feedback of what you're standing on to your brain. Now, if you're looking for, once again, a budget way to train this, you can even use just a fluffed up pillow on flat ground. And this little bit of instability will increase this type of feedback and challenge your balance ability. All right, well, we're coming in on close to the final stretch, the last 10 minutes of this slackline endurance challenge. After that 30-minute fall, I am feeling incredibly nervous about this last 10 minutes, which is why I am filming from directly where I keep my vision on that tree stump straight forward. So hopefully we can persevere through these last 10 minutes, just get it over with, because I'm starting to get a little fatigued out here. All right, I think this is gonna be my final straightaway here. Yeah, we got like 10 seconds left. And just gotta finish out here. My lower back feels like it is being absolutely squeezed to death right now. If you know where your QL is, you know that it's a bracing muscle and that it has been active for about the past 2.5, 3 hours of attempting this challenge. And we're done. Thank you for staying tuned for this hour-long endeavor of trying to balance on the slackline. I hope you learned a thing or two about balancing, even if it was in the most stupid way possible. If you're interested in any more slacklining or type videos like this, be sure to leave a comment and let me know. And until then, I'll see you in the next video.